Hi, good afternoon everyone. Thank you very much for joining this video and for watching. Thank you very much. Today's topic will be go for a no. Yes is the destiny, but no is the way how you get there. And again, I want to be straight to the point today. And I want to also compare a little bit some statements or some assumptions on beliefs in terms of how to create business nowadays, which means right now and in the date of online marketing and internet. So the book Go for a No, yes is the destination, no is how you get there, was written by, let me have a look, just Richard Fenton and Andrea Walls. And I listened to this book as an audiobook many times, and I think that book has some valid points which I use on a daily basis in my sales practice. So summarized, the book is referring to a study which is also mentioned in the book Sell Naked from Joe and Don Pesci, where there is a study mentioned of how it's necessary to approach a certain prospect, one single prospect, 5 times at least, or to get 5 no's, until you get to the point where you can just close the case and consider the prospect to not be suitable or not be a good deal for your product. So I will read it out. I will just read it out what I just read in the book Sell Naked. I will refer to my own practice, so you'll know that I'm talking from own expertise, and I'm not referring just to different authors who I'm just repeating because I don't have my own experience. I will talk about my experience as well, and I will talk you also through a certain aspect where I'm very curious about your opinion. I am curious about your opinion in terms of which approach could be better. Do you really need to decide which approach is better? The approach of asking people many times until you get like 5 no's, or the approach which is presented, for example, by the team of COD, Customers on Demand, a course which I recently finished, which is referring to a very simple funnel where you pre-qualify the prospect by a Facebook advertise, which leads to an automated webinar, and which leads then to scheduling a call, and within the call you close the customer actually on the first call, where there is no room for a second, third, fourth and fifth approach. So let me just refer quickly to this study and read out what is written in the book of Joe and Don Pesci, Sell Naked. So in sales, we call this level of persistence the CPR rule. Simply put, the CPR rule says that salespeople should continue to market contact until their prospective client changes their telephone number and or begs to be left alone. Maybe an exaggeration, but this is what they write in the books. I'm just like reading out. Look at the statistics that Herbert True, a marketing specialist at Notre Dame, found about the value of persistence in sales. So 60% of all sales comes after 4 or more calls, which means the 5th call, actually, like after the 5th call. 44% of all salespeople quit trying after the first call. So 44% quit already after the first call. 24% quit after the second call. 14% quit after the third call. 12% quit trying to sell their prospect after the 4th call. So, amazing, only 6% of all salespeople will make contact with the prospective client 5 or more times. So, the conclusion now, this is my comment, but I read out. So, since something like 60% of all sales happens after the 4th call, 82% of salespeople are chasing 40% of all sales. This leaves 60% of all sales to the top 18% of salespeople. So I have found that top salespeople understand the CPR rule and apply it to their sales strategy. I'm applying this concept in my daily practice when I phone clients every day. I also learned it in the book Go for a No. Yes is the destination. Now how you get there, because it's exposed there that it's really the most successful people who have the most finalized successful tries, in regardless if it's sales, or if this is something like a sports achievement. They have also the highest rate on missing attempts. So when you say, for example, that someone is a good baseball pitcher, or someone, let's say, has a good rate in hitting the target by, shooting it on it with an bow, you will find out that also the number of attempts which have missed their target have been huge, which means proportionally to the successes, the mistakes are many. And in the book Go for a No, it is actually suggested that you set yourself no goals. So actually, like when you say that you need to attempt and to understand your ratio between no and yes, how many yeses or how many no's you really need for a yes, and based on this ratio, which you can count down, which you can find out, and which you can actually put down on paper, you should aim for the no's rather than for the yeses. And what I liked about the argumentation is like, okay, many salespeople are taking themselves away from the game. They stop calling, they stop prospecting after they have achieved a certain amount of yeses, or let's say that the law of average was working in their favor and they had a few yeses one after another. And I'm guilty of that. I did it in the past. I just stopped calling them because I thought, okay, now I had hit my weekly ratio, my monthly ratio, my daily ratio, so I don't need to call anymore. And so back in the past, back in the days, I would have stopped calling, or at least I would slow down. But one amazing argument against it was, but who does take, like, let's watch and let's compare it to a football game, like soccer for the Americans between you. And then you have someone who is a great scorer and he hit like 5 goals or 3 goals in one game. And which kind of coach would take away such a black horse, like in the middle of the game, when he knows that the person is just on fire and hitting goals one after another? It does not make sense. So actually, it makes super sense from this approach when you think about that the main amounts of sales and closings are coming after the 5th attempt of calling attempt, meeting attempt, to persist and to not let you down with a no. And so this is what I'm practicing on a daily basis, and I see results. And the book is explaining also the fact that your success increases when your willingness and wantingness of receiving a no, rejection, increases as well. So if you just like somehow accept the fact that a no is needed for a yes finally, then you are somehow like in a developing stage, but you're still not there, because you want to get to a point where you are willing, really, when you want and wanting to fail, when you're actually happy about a no, to be able to pursue further, because you know that the no is just the way to the destiny, which is the yes. And even after the yes, you don't stop, but you progress further. So, and I like this idea. When you work in a space where you do a lot of calling attempts, this is something which I definitely can say works. But on the other hand, we are also working in a world of an internet economy, online economy, and we all want to save time and also save efforts and maybe look for more sophisticated and better attempts how to get to qualify good clients. And one solution proposed by the team of COD is, for example, like to make really tailored and really good targeted Facebook ads. This is the COD team to clients, to your potential clients, to prospects who you'd predefine in form of an avatar. And then you invite them to a webinar, which lasts, like a while, like half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, where they really understand if the solution which you are providing is something which can solve their need and their problem. So when they book then and call with you after, there is no doubt about it when you speak to them that they are in need, they are bias in power, they are bias in heat or bias in power, bias who are, at least they suffer from a certain pain because they call you in order to solve the problem which you actually solve and which you have presented on this webinar. So you don't need many approaches. You just use a clever way how to get together with the right prospect in the right stage of pain with the problem which he needs to solve and which you solve with your solution. And so therefore, because you pre-select this customer without having to make so many calling attempts, without blindly fishing, between names and maybe cold leads which come into your funnel, you just have someone who is already very well prepared and ready to go with you when the chemistry between you and the rapport between you and your client will go in the right way. So it's right. I like both ideas. I actually think that both methods are good. I think that persistence is a very, very important point in order to get success when you are working in an environment where you just don't get this super pre-qualified customers who went through this funnel. So when you don't have this funnel, I think that you still need, and you will get successful when you stick to these old rules and to the statistics which I have been presenting. This is my experience. But I also like the fact that you can somehow tailor the message and streamline your efforts to get really on the phone with the right people, and you automate the way how to prospect your clients in a clever but also in a straightforward way. So in a way which is somehow helping your telemarketing phone sales efforts, instead of contradicting them, or instead of not helping them too much. So many times the leads which are coming into a funnel with ordinary methods of online marketing, they can or they cannot be right. So they are good or they are not good. And really, when you get many of them, just because someone registered with an email just out of an spontaneous reaction, and this is not a real interest. You can't call it interest, because sometimes when people register, people are scrolling down through social media, and then they get to a point where just something triggers their very, very short period. The attention span is very short right now. So, but also the interest span, I would say that it's short, and then they got triggered by that, and they register someone, they give you a number, phone number, and the email address, because they think, oh yeah, I could do it. And then you call them, and it's actually they don't pick up, or you speak to their mailbox and they never answer, or they just are already away with their thoughts by something else, and it was just a spontaneous reaction on marketing. So, and I actually would like to know from your perspective, What do you think is better? Is there a need to somehow decide between these two systems? Is there a slight advantage which is speaking for a sophisticated, clever, but also simple way how to pre-qualify your prospect to get them on the phone and to speak with them in that way that they will also buy your product? Or does it cause eventually something like complacency on your side? Because let's say, okay, you need just to speak to 4 clients, and you then stop calling because the funnel is working so well. So, okay, I can understand. Then you maybe just wait for them, and then you are on the call. Okay, when you're well prepared, when you have made your mental work, you might be always ready for them. But isn't it good to have something like a second leg, where you know that when you call prospects and you do it quite often and regularly, and you speak with them and you come to conclusions which just can be only created then when you persistently have these connections with other customers many times, because you are digging into the deep material of interhuman communication. So you, on a subconsciously basis, understand that the intonality, the body language, the voice, the wording of the customer. You can just take them from there. Does this even increase your possibility to close these prospects who are so good pre-qualified? So is this eventually a good supplementary solution to this solution which you have to go through anyway by prospecting a lot of clients just to get really good on the phone and just to get passionate about? And no, because this is, I think, that yes is the destiny, but no is how you get to there. But you need to create the willingness to be rejected in order to become a closer, to get to this yeses. And the amount of no's which you encounter is usually huge compared to the yeses which you get. So you might even think about creating an award for your company for the best people who are having the most closings, and for the people who have the most no's. And I think that surprisingly, you will discover that these are the same. I hope this makes sense. So this is why I'm asking you to give me your feedback. Tell me a little bit, is it a topic which you also think about? And is this something which triggers your imagination? Is the one to weigh against the other? Or these are actually really two sides of the same coin? Does it work better when you implement a system which really brings customers to you, and they are pre-qualified, but will you be able to close them better when you are an experienced caller? Or is it for you, will it be more frustrating and create more anxiety to you when you have no experience at all? So I'm very curious about what do you think? How would you go about, for example, the fact, okay, you wouldn't like to spend so much time on the phone, you wouldn't like prospecting even for practicing reasons. So how would you prepare yourself for such a call with someone who is calling when you have just 3, 4, 5 appointments before such a qualified call, where the customer who is calling is finally looking for your solution because he has the pain? Does it require regular training? Do you have to prepare yourself mentally eventually and train yourself and read and look at the right training and the right information before you make such a call? And this somehow will then reduce the disadvantage of you having no experience on the phone? Or will your experience which you gained on this many calls help you anyway to get the prospect subscribe to your offer? And maybe you are looking for a high ticket offer, and this is what I offer in my course, I mean, this is what I'm looking for when I try, not what I, sorry, this apologies, I'm not what I'm offering in my course. This is what I'm looking when I'm looking prospecting for my company, for bestsalesboost.com. I only want to connect to such customers who are able to pay a high ticket price, because this enables me to really customize the training offer to a company's need and solution, that way that it really serves them on the highest quality level they can achieve. So I can really take time with the best salespeople to improve their abilities to create rapport and also to close to close and to create the next step with the customer. I hope that so with that said, I kindly ask you to comment on that. Please give me your own opinion. I'm really looking forward to find out what are your thoughts about that. Also, please subscribe. Hit the notification button. Please hit the notification button. Subscribe, and in order to be informed about future content. Like the content when you like the content, and please share these videos with everyone who needs to improve in sales. Thank you very much, and speak soon. Bye bye.